right, baby.
The Year of Superman. Welcome to the Krypton Report podcast. It is I, your host, Tyler, the Superman of Blue, the man of tomorrow, and with me as always, the man with the beard that has not dyed, like Dyebeard, James, the man of steel coal.
Like Dyebeard. No, it's all natural gray and brown.
We've been reviewing, after our conversation on Creature Commandos, was rewatching Peacemaker, and it's like Dyebeard. But hey, we got some news. Let's get into it. First things up. Is the super family getting too big? Just a quick thought. There is my continual update of all the super people that's been in the comics. Now that we've added Mon-El's comeback, and we have now Superwoman Lois, it just keeps growing bigger and bigger. And what do just I don't know, man. I feel like, is it diminishing returns? Are there too many characters? You know, Val, I think we missed out on having a hard traveling space heroes book with like John Kent and Val Zod. What do you think?
I definitely think something like that. I want to see more Val Zod. I like the character. I think he's a cool alternate universe version of a Superman because he's not a version of Clark. He's another iteration. I mean, Power Girl, she's from another universe as well. But I mean, yeah, I can say that I think it's getting too big. Because when it comes down to it, I mean, sometimes it's hard to find big threats for just the one character, and then when you've got a whole bunch who are, nearly his power level, then it's potentially, like what threats are out there, like the super family single-handedly, like this Justice League kind of a level. But also, I mean, not everybody brings the same thing to the table as even one character, but let alone all the members of the Justice League. I feel like if you were, because when you do movies and cartoons and things, you tend to the world ends up shrinking, But with the comics, the worlds grow and they get bigger and bigger to make room for all of the characters and everything. So, like they do a good job of weaving in. So like the Power Girl book, they do a decent job of weaving that in and out. She's on her own stories. She's doing her own missions. But she comes in and out. Like she worked at the Daily Planet, so she comes in and out as a reporter there. So she weaves in and out of the world and with the characters, and she has her own stories. And then of course Supergirl is off world in the action books doing her thing,
which is good, but
yeah. And they even have Connor and Kong Keenan doing their own thing. So I mean, you can write the stories. The world does get bigger. So as long as they're kind of taking care of their own thing, and I mean, I feel like an event book, will definitely get them more together and everything. I mean, Philip Kennedy Johnson is supposed to be writing a book for the House of L. I think picking up with some of his House of L characters from like Future State or something.
Yeah, you jumped
or
ahead.
The Book of L. There we. Oh, see, sorry, I didn't even realize that was on our list.
Yeah, so we have the Book of L that was announced. That'll be coming. Supposedly, they've canceled it for now. So it was supposed to be at March. It was supposed to be the Future Slate House of L creators, Philip Kennedy Johnson and Scott, I don't know, were announced as returning and bringing a new Superman story in the Adventures of Superman, the Book of L. It would
Uh,
conclude their future state storyline when 5G went away and changed everything at DC. So, well, that's one news piece we got. But yeah, the family keeps growing, and
so I was looking forward to the Book of L. I liked Philip Kennedy Johnson's run on Superman in action there.
who did it? Who did it? You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, the War World saga was fantastic. Um, but so yeah, well, that's disappointing.
let's
We got
see
another
here.
Superman book though.
Yeah, we
Great,
have
got
another
that one.
Superman Unlimited is coming, and this story is from Dan Slott and off by Raphael Albuquerque. And the series follows the aftermath of a massive kryptonite asteroid hitting Earth and Superman having to deal with everyone having access to his greatest weakness. Okay, that could be neat. It's coming out. We have the new film. So that could be really neat. My thing is that could be cool for the whole super family in a sense, because that's a weakness for all of them.
Yeah, for just about all of them. With the only one who probably wouldn't be affected would be Kong.
Yeah. And I still think, and I've said this, that right now DC has no idea what to do with John Kent. Uh, I think him having his own book with Val was great, but they don't know anything to do with him.
And
And
last I know, Val's still in the Phantom Zone. I don't even think that they've gotten him out of the Phantom Zone yet since Ultraman put him there.
yeah, and we'll talk Phantom Zone next week stuff. So,
Yeah, I need to
next,
catch up on that to catch up exactly where that's at.
we got a new look at David Cornsweat here as Superman in a new picture.
I mean, what can I say except he looks like Superman?
Looks good. I like the cinematography color. We got an announcement that Warner Brothers Discovery is to use the Super Bowl for Superman marketing, the Super Puppy Bowl. We will get a look at Superman during the Super Puppy Bowl. So,
You know, it's going to be funny if they're going to use Crypto to push the movie because, he's cute and everything. Push Crypto, and he's only going to be in like 5 minutes of the movie.
I mean, did so?
No, I haven't had a chance to watch that. I want to. I
Oh
meant to
my
click.
god, the How
Yeah.
It Should Have Ended, the new one, Cafe of Batman and Superman talking. I love how they both have their newest looks, but the funniest part about this that I was dying laughing about, and I had to explain to Solomon, is as they're sitting there talking, Batman has his bat phone out, and his bat phone is getting all of these alerts, and the alerts are everything that's going on in the Penguin series,
Oh, really?
and he just keeps ignoring it. And
That's actually really funny. Yeah, that's really funny, and I'm surprised. Maybe it was too soon because how long it takes to produce. I'm sure the cafe stuff doesn't take nearly as long as the movie stuff does, but um producing, and they do a short change way of animation to get by, but uh I'm surprised that they didn't say something about his movie being delayed again for another friggin' year.
I wonder if they will, because he said the next How It Should Have Ended is supposed to be the Penguin, so I wonder if there'll be a joke about it. Let's see. The
Something like the Penguin's going to be running Gotham for the next 2.5 years.
I got a new Superman wallet. Sayla got it for me. It's an Action Comics #1 wallet, so that's pretty awesome to bring up here. She wanted to get it for me. Keeping with the movie note news, David Krumholtz, most people might know as, or Krumholtz, um,
Hmm.
from,
Guy from Numbers and from Serenity.
yeah, but I think of him as, Bernard from the Santa Claus. We'll be
Bernard
playing,
from Santa Claus. He was in 10 Things I Hate About You.
yeah, he will be Zor-El, and Emily Beechman, or Beckham, Beckham, will be Alora. So yeah, we have a Zor-El and Alora for the Supergirl movie. We don't have any announcement on a Jor-El, but we have a Zor-El, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I love that guy. I love Krumholtz. I think he's either really good or really hilarious in everything he does. Um, and he was the reason the show Numbers was any good.
Yes, yes.
um, yeah, I love that guy. So to see him playing Zor-El, I'm just yeah, absolutely. That is totally fine by me. I love that guy. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Um, I'm not familiar with the the, the female actress.
Yeah. I've seen her, but I can't pinpoint anything. I haven't looked her up on IMDb or anything to see where I know her from.
Let's see, just pulling her up real quick. Hail Caesar, The Pursuit of Love. I mean, she was in Cruella, which I saw, which was the same director, so that makes sense. But I don't really remember her character of Catherine, the maid. So she's been in things. It's just, yeah,
What I
nothing.
probably would have seen her in was 28 Weeks Later, is what I would have most recognized her from.
Yeah, but I mean, gosh, that's 2007. You know,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, she's
so
done some work. Looks like she's done work in like the independent. Like some of her movies got. I see some film festival awards and stuff like that.
yeah,
So I think she's bounced around in and out. You know what I mean? She's been a working actress for a long time, but that's where I would have known her from, according to most of this list here.
yeah, cool. She has one of those faces that looks like somebody else you've seen, but
She looks a lot like what's her name? Chris. Oh, she was into the Badlands. She played the widow. That's where I know her from.
all right,
She's the
James is
widow from Into the Badlands. That's absolutely where I know her from.
that's where James is excited. So now we all should.
Well, you've seen Into the Badlands, haven't you? The show produced by Alfred Goff and Miles Millar for I think it was AMC. It was
Yeah,
a post-apocalyptic martial arts show.
yeah, I know it. I just never watched it. I was,
It's really cool. I have all 3 seasons on Blu-ray.
it
So
was one
yeah,
of
that's
those.
absolutely where now I'm way excited. Her and Kremholtz. That's awesome. I love it.
The next little tidbit for the movie we got is the Hollywood Reporter is stating that Millie Alcock is expected to appear as Supergirl in Superman. Yeah, we all kind of figured that, which makes sense, but we will see how that plays out. I'm hoping, it has started filming, so I'm hoping that we get something. I did have a little thing that James Manigold said that his Swamp Thing will be like a gothic horror thriller. That's really was the whole quote. So, all right. Guess
Hey,
that
it just has the last series to live up to. So
I'm just like just something going on with that movie because it seems like last thing we said that Mangold wasn't that interested because he was going to do a Star Wars thing, but we got an announcement of Funko Pops for Superman 78. I want the Superman right here with in the fortress just because I love the fortress part.
of course Lois Lane would have to be in her 90 though.
Yeah, of course. I did finally watch Superman, the Christopher Reeve story. It was really good.
Nice. Yeah. It is on my list. It's just with winter and weather and being on call and everything, I haven't been able to watch all the things I wanted to watch.
In sad news, Junia Swark has passed away at 85. He was the director of Supergirl. He directed a bunch of episodes of Smallville. He also directed Jaws 2 and Santa Claus the movie, also produced by the Salkinds. So
Not to be confused with the Santa Claus.
yeah, the Salkinds just like putting the movie behind things. Superman, the movie. Santa Claus, the movie.
Right. Now I'm gonna have to go into a deep dive on the Salkinds producing and see how many the movies they have.
Superman 2, the movie, or Superman the movie 2. Superman the movie 3. It's just funny. And Harley Quinn is back. Season 5 has started. And if you haven't watched it yet, they are now based in Metropolis. And the first episode has so many Superman Easter eggs. So many with Lois and Jimmy and just the world in general. It's just kind of funny because with this being the year of Superman or the summer of Superman, they're calling it too. I'm calling it the year of Superman.
But isn't it always the year of Superman for me and you?
I mean, it is, but we have the new film and DC's trying to push Superman a little harder and everything. It is funny that they pushed the final season.
He's apparently on the cover of the Challengers of the Unknown.
Yeah.
Issue 1. I don't know if he's in that book. We'll see. I haven't read it yet.
Me neither. Now, the last piece of little news here is a quote from this piece of doo-doo. Mr. Andy Muschietti says, "The Flash failed because a lot of people just don't care about the character."
But that's how the Flash ran for 9-10 years on
Grant Gustin's 10-year
CW.
run. And here's a quote right here. Grant Gustin's 10-year run in the Arrowverse proves the Flash is a character a lot of people care about.
So, what was the last movie that came out that the director said, "Oh, well, people just the failure of the thing was just people don't care." No, you made a crap movie, dude. Like, you made a crap movie, and the studio crapped on the brand for years on end before that. And James Gunn crapped on all your movies coming out for the year before when he announced that everything's getting rebooted. It had nothing to do with people not liking the character. That was a stupid thing to say. It's not the first time it's been said. Just plain and simple, like, that's not the case.
No, let's see.
You tried to sell the movie on nostalgia with Michael Keaton, and you thought that was going to pull the whole thing through when everything he said was pretty much a repeat of a line he said in previous films.
So let's look at it here. You took an actor that people were kind of mid on, but the version people liked was the Snyder cut, not the Justice League we got in theaters. Then you doubled down on that actor in a script that was meh. You didn't include any great Flash villains. Okay.
Not a one.
Then, all right, ready? Then you decide to have a butt ton of free screenings to the people that were going to pay and see your movie. So all these people who are already going to pay and give you money, you're allowing them to see it for free. And then you really don't want to make the Flash. You just want to do the movie because he even said he wanted to do the movie because he could get Keaton back, because you just really wanted to do Batman. And it shows that because the Batman scenes are some of the best scenes in the film, that's what you wanted.
Yeah.
And then he even went on to say that it didn't work for the four quadrant and for women. Now, I have a little quote here to play from my beautiful daughter.
I'm in the car here with Sayla. You know, my daughter who loves The Flash. Sayla, did you know that the director of the Flash movie said that the movie didn't do well because girls don't like The Flash?
Why? Why, you son of a beaver? Flash is amazing! It's better than the freaking idiots out there.
See, that's truth. What is the saying? Out of the mouth of babes comes truth. Yeah, right there. Suck it, Machete.
Yeah, no. As soon as I saw that posted, I was like, no, like you're trying to make excuses for having a poor film, and because you couldn't sell the movie on Ezra Miller because of everything that he was going through, you know, in the public eye, you tried to sell the movie on Michael Keaton, and then when you actually see the movie with Michael Keaton in it, most of the things he does and says is fan service. Yes, his action sequences are some of the best Batman action sequences we've had on film, you know, minus the warehouse scene. But
that'll be hard to top.
Like, yeah, the warehouse scene's just going to be hard to top by anybody at any point. But I mean, they were great. They were great scenes. So no, you guys just it was a collective of everything. It was the studios. It was canceling, or it was you know, people dropping in and out, rewriting the script over and over and over again, doubling down on the stupid Justice League version of Ezra Miller's Flash. You know, like
yeah.
It was a whole pot of things why people didn't like your movie, and it had nothing to do with people not liking The Flash. Grant Gustin's show was the most beloved Flash show, was the most beloved show of the CW verse, maybe until Superman and Lois. Who knows? But still, like it was the best show they had. It was most people's favorite show out of the bunch. Yeah. Like, no, you're just coming up with excuses for making a poor film.
Yeah. That probably you really didn't want to make in the first place. You just did it as a favor. But
you did it as a stepping stone to try and get what you do have now, which is Brave and the Bold.
Which we'll see how that goes. And we'll talk about that later. But all right, so that's all the news. Now, for everyone who's watching this or is on YouTube, there is a YouTube short video. But later on in this audio episode, we will get our first Junia Reads review, as we will get Junia discussing Action Comics #1. That'll be in our audio mix here for everybody. Now, to our short video here on our next discussion, a little bit of a discussion on the history of the symbol. All right.
I
So that's
love
a
that
little.
video. That was great.
I just threw that together with some stuff I got here. I'm looking for something real quick here. My little project I have here. It's a little tricky having just the one screen, but it was a discussion I have here on the Superman Shield. I'm going to give credit where credit's due. I think that Superman homepage, Steve Jonas, our friend here, has a really great comprehensive chart they developed. And I want to just kind of break it down a little bit here. So give me 1 second as I go to pull that up here. All right. There we go. Okay. I'm going to share this screen here. But just a history is the S Shield, and we're going to say S right now, was originally invented by, for Superman, that Jerry and Joe wanted to put something on their character. And hold on a second. This is being a pain in the butt. Why is it being a pain in the tush? Let's see if it's not going to let me show it. Man, come on. Oh, my God. But the S was for Superman, of course. But then, it also stood for Siegel and Schuster. So, and that's something
Siegel and Schuster.
Yeah. So, and the S, as we would come to know it. And then over time, it's Superman. And over time, it would be why is it not letting me? Hold on a second. I haven't done it on this computer, but the idea was it evolved over time. Then later Mark Waid would adapt the symbol means hope. And then it was, adapted as the family symbol of the House of L. And it just keeps evolving to what it means. But
yeah.
it is interesting because as we'll look, as we get to a certain point, and it's just kind of like, yeah, it's not letting me share it, but we get to a certain point, like in the video I just played. Nope. I was trying to do something. Yes, we get to a certain point where it just kind of stays. And that's the symbol that everybody knows. And then, like, we have the Elseworlds, just slew of variations. And,
right.
And for the anime movies, also very similar. But it really is, we get pretty much the same basic style of symbol until Superman Returns. And where, like I said, it was a marketing. But for the most part, it's been very consistent.
Yeah. There's been quite a few variations. It's Superman and Batman, two of the most recognizable symbols.
Yeah. And so it's been, and I wish my slides was working. I don't really know why it's not.
They even have a version of it from if he was if he landed on Apocalypse.
Yeah, and I like when the Supergirl is the same with a few tweaks. Like the Supergirl TV series, hers, the way they did it I really liked, and it was in the slideshow where it had the gold was kind of outlining compared to just being the generic. And then even the Sasha Kaye symbol,
It was very reminiscent of the Batman versus Superman one. I do like that. I think when the Supergirl one is so vastly different in style, because it's an S. I mean, I don't know what you mean. Like, I'm not trying to say vastly different, like some kind, like you're trying to do that little three line S. You know what I mean? That kids used to
Yeah.
draw on, that we used to draw on our notebooks. I don't mean that like vastly different, but like the New 52, the version of her S in the New 52 versus Superman, like hers is vastly different than any version, even the versions that they have as the house crest. Like it's just really a very different stylistic look to it. I think that feels like a bit of a departure, because it's the family crest. You know what I mean? I feel like she would want to own up her family crest. Really, I mean,
I don't
I don't
say,
know. I just feel like it would feel different. Like it just feels off, especially if because she grew up with that. That's like, that's what she lived with on Krypton and everything. So for hers to be so different, it's weird in my opinion. It's not like it's horrible, but it's just weird.
Yeah, I mean, because the thing is, her father would need to be wearing the exact same one that she is wearing. If it's going to be, because then you're changing Zor-El and Jor-El and having variations, but it's a coat of arms. It's a family coat of arms. Now let's see if this works here. Add to stage. Okay, yeah, let's try. We're gonna try it like this. Okay, so there's our original 1938. Okay, Action Comics #1, and then we get this one. I'm not really a fan of this, the triangle. This is still comic books where this one's still like, I don't own any Superman shirts with the triangle. It's this one, the Ray Middleton for the World's Fair. It's like how it actually says Superman, because like, remember the old costumes, like as a kid, where it actually say like the character you are on the costume.
Right.
That's what it reminds me of. Now, of course, this one is beloved. I love this one with the Fleischer symbol.
Yeah.
And I wonder why they did it like this, to be honest with you. Like why they chose to add this style.
Right. The shield look, the black background. Yeah.
And then here's our comics, one that we pretty much rock with forever. And then the Kirk Allen's is slightly compressed, and then George is slightly compressed, big. And then this is like our standard symbol.
Yeah, like the cleanest symbol.
And then Dean Cain's is just a little bit here and there, like the way it curves, the symbol, the S shield. Then we have the Kingdom Come, and people are probably like, what? Then this one's crazy. Electric Superman.
Yeah. And the S looks more like a lightning bolt.
It does. And then here's the one they were trying to go with they were using on Smallville, like it looks like an 8. Then the good old Superman Returns.
Well, it's interesting that they have it that way, because when you look at the alphabet in the comics and everything, that is the symbol for S.
Yeah.
So
it is the Kryptonian S.
Yes. Not necessarily inside the shield, but the 8 symbol, almost the infinity symbol vertical.
Mm-hmm. So it is very humorous to me that that's what they chose. So
yeah. And honestly, at that time, that was probably more like a deep cut.
Yeah. The Superman Returns was very small, and it is like when you see it on his suit, like it is so small, like, and it's the 3D, the Superboy, more Young Justice cartoon, then the jacket, which was just basically standard, the New 52. And I didn't put the Supergirl New 52 on here. I probably should have, because you're right how much difference that was. And then there's the first Man of Steel, Henry Cavill, which I do like.
The New 52 Supergirl was closer to the electric Superman look.
It was. And see, there's the Supergirl TV series, and I like the way they did that.
Yeah.
To me, that works of being, and I wish that when we get to Tyler's, it was a little bit more reminiscent of something similar.
Yeah.
But I do like the way they did hers a lot. The second Cavill had the quotes and writing inside of it, which I like, but I think it was a little busy. Tyler's first is too plain as far as I don't know. I like it in the sense of, but it doesn't, there's no variation to denote that that's really him. There's the
except for
Kingdom
the
Come.
little yellow clips on the outside looking thing. And look, they had to make the shield look like it's clipped on, like his cape is clipped on.
Right.
It's the only thing I really dislike about it. And see, they even still have that design there. It's just not yellow.
And this is the first for Superman and Lois. This looks like it's like a t-shirt screen printing. See, there's the Sasha Kaye Supergirl that's has a little extra like flair here, which I'll go with this because it looks so much like the Man of Steel, but a little bit different. There's the CGI Nick Cage. I mean, Muschietti got Nick Cage to come in and act, but then didn't even use his scenes or whatever. And so, see, then they actually
another reason why people didn't like the movie that had nothing to do with the Flash.
And then they give him this nice, like 3D embossed style symbol for the final season of Superman and Lois. And then there's our Corn Sweat, which is very Kingdom Come with a little different curves here and there. It looks more alien. But yeah, then here's
it does, and I like the texture. I like the texture that it has. I like the texture that Brandon Routh's had with the embossed S's in it. Same, very much like Tyler's in the 4th season. But and then the chainmail design embossed for the Man of Steel look, that was really cool too.
Yeah,
but I like the embossed texture of that. It almost just looks like weaved fabric as opposed to. But that was the purpose of the chainmail look. It was supposed to have that look, as well as like this is supposed to have the look.
I don't like it when it's like so high up where it looks like a huge patch, like how Brandon Routh was on a suit. And I don't like when it looks like it's screen printed like a t-shirt. So
yeah,
I like my happy medium. But all right,
nothing flat and nothing like sticking 3 inches off the chest.
So now this is where we'll add Junia. But since this is this version, now we're going to discuss a book that I've never read until 9. I've only flipped in till now. I said 9. The Wedding Album. Had you previously read The Wedding Album, James?
I have not previously read The Wedding Album.
What did you find as overall reading The Wedding Album?
I mean, like overall, it was a book of its time. Superman at this time, he has his mullet, so Clark's got a freaking ponytail.
Dude, I could not get past the ponytail. Oh my gosh. I kept reading this and I just, what he made me think of? We all know that my daughter loves Scooby-Doo. He kept reminding me of the villain in Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost, because he has a ponytail and glasses, and that's all I could think about the entire time. And so the issue was interesting, but yeah, the ponytail Clark kept throwing me out because he still has his like mullet. And I had to kind of remember where we were at the time in comics, because there's a lot of different artists that join this issue. But we have Lois Lane has her mom. Her mom is alive. We have Sam Lane, who keeps giving Lois
And
crap.
she is uptight, boy. She is uptight. You can tell that somebody who wrote this had some sort of conservative, uptight upbringing or something, because that is how her mother and father acted, like conservative, uptight people.
The book opens with Lois getting married for a story, and you're like, "What? Wait, what's going on?" You know, because it's the wedding issue. And
Yeah,
then we go.
Thought that would be the end.
Then we jump to, Clark with his long mullet hair, and we
But
find
she
out
handles 3 armed men.
she does. Clark already had the ring. They were engaged before. He reproposes, and then we kick off really this issue.
Yeah. So the beginning of this issue, when they talk about it before they get back together in this issue, is they talk about how her that she thinks that Superman is too big and too important for her
to be in a relationship with. And I think there's a lot of good I think there's a lot of good traction in this. I don't want to say I like the bones of this, but there's a lot of stuff in here I just really wasn't a fan of. And maybe that's just me, you know. Some of the depictions and stuff. I was. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. What I was saying was the end here, or this Superman is too important for them to be married, and that's from her side. From his side, he was saying like that it's like a first responder, like he might go out and never come home, but it was very much like Lois's reaction to at the end of the penultimate episode in the beginning of the finale of Smallville, that she's a distraction for Superman, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So I got that from it, like that. I feel like that's where they pulled a little bit of that story from, was in this as well.
I can see that. Sam Lane giving Clark crap constantly for everything. And Clark doesn't have his powers, and I forgot where we were, like why he doesn't have his powers and stuff.
Yeah, at that point, I'm not sure what happened before, why he gets his powers. At some point in the book, well, Mixie shows up like just before their wedding, and they have a little quick conversation, and he talks about him not knowing, or him not being involved in why he doesn't have his powers right now. But yeah, in this whole issue, he doesn't have his powers. He even performs a couple of saves and stuff without his powers.
which is a true blue Superman, and I love it. Um, and I just,
The biggest takeaway from this book, in my opinion, was the actual wedding itself, which is there towards the end, is that there are like no heroes, none of his friends present. But it also seemed like at this time, like not all the heroes know each other's identities.
right.
Because Batman says there's a nice splash page of all of these heroes flying over, saying that that Metropolis is going to be protected, while Superman is quote unquote getting married because he doesn't have his powers, but it's because Superman's going to be going on this secret mission. It's not that he's getting married, and of course Bruce Wayne can't come to his wedding either, which he
Mhm.
mentions that he wish he could come. But there's like no heroes at his wedding.
But I do enjoy uh I do enjoy the scene where they are, what do you call it? Not arguing against each other, but like Batman and Superman, they're trying to like point and counterpoint. Um,
The relationship,
uh-huh.
and getting married.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um, well, Batman shows up after one of the saves
So,
where Superman actually comes upon Naga and his two henchmen from the plane, who they say they escaped from the local police, and he comes upon them and he starts fighting them in the alley. And I mean, Lois had a better time taking these guys out than Superman did. Batman had to come and rescue him. He was about to die. He's about to get shot.
mm-hmm.
Batman showed up to rescue him.
But I mean, and then he cuts his hair at the end. Uh, I was a little disappointed. I kind of, I didn't
Yeah,
have high expectations, but like one of the best parts was Jimmy Olsen being upset that they didn't ask him to be the photographer for the wedding, and then it's because Clark names Jimmy his best man.
yeah,
Which that was a great part in it, and we do see all the heroes are protecting the city and stuff so that Superman can have the day off. Sam Lane throws a fit and then does show up at Lois's wedding. And
yeah.
her
That's
and
at
Clark,
least consistent with the stories, is that Sam and Lois don't have a good relationship.
because she mentions like how Sam wanted a man and raised her to be like that and not to be a girl. And it's Clark and Lois walk down the aisle together, which is cute. So, but yeah, I mean that's the wedding issue. I was like I said, I was a little disappointed. It, I don't know. I was expecting a little bit more, but
I mean, I kind of was myself. I mean, we follow Lois and her family. Lois is doing some apartment hunting. It's funny how she's apartment hunting like the day before or the day of her wedding. um, they're having kind of a bridal shower. Clark is having somewhat of a bachelor party. I mean, we get Bibbo, we get John Kent, we get Perry White, we get Maggie Sawyer, Dan Turpin's there, Ron Troop. I mean, it's just a who's who of all of their like friends and pals and things like that. Like, honestly, one of my favorite parts was the brawl in the bar, and John says, "Aren't you going to do something about this brawl, Commissioner?" Commissioner says, "What brawl? I don't see any brawl." Ron Troop says, "Can I quote you on that?" He says, "What quote? I didn't say anything." But Bibbo's like, this happens every Friday night. We'll be best pals come morning, talking about the biker gang that's trashing his place because the place is closed for the private function of the bachelor party and they can't play pool. And he says, we'll be pals in the morning. I just can't forget him for the head lice from his place.
Bibbo was so interesting of a character.
He looks like a goon in Maggie Sawyer's story when she talks about the fire. He looks weird. He looks like a goon in there, but later on he looks more recognizable. Looks more like a dockhand, some muscular dockhand that you've seen him in more other issues.
Right.
So that must have just been the difference in artists.
Yeah, because there is multiple artists in the issue. The other thing is that Bruce Wayne secured the apartment for Clark and Lois that they were looking at.
Yeah, the one nice apartment that she liked, but there was like a 1.5 year waiting list. But Bruce Wayne owns the building, so.
And yeah, he was like, Bruce Wayne secured it for you. So, but so I was just checking some news while we were recording here, and so this goes back right here, what we were kind of talking about with the Superman Unlimited is part of the Summer of Superman initiative. The DC is going to have books launching in May, preparing for the new Superman movie. And we'll see what that is. But I just feel like John Kent is right now a character that's being completely undermanaged and they don't know what to do with.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they aged him up, gave him a little bit of a story, and now that they're doing this whole like Superman family thing, like, what are you going to do with John?
Right. And that's where we're at. But join us next week as we dive into comics and we get back into catching up on our comics and some Superboy watching as we continue the year of Superman. I'm Tyler. This is the Man in Red, James. And remember,
Look up in the sky!
Thank you for checking out the Krypton Report. Please click our link tree in the show notes to follow us on your favorite social media platform. We have a $1 Patreon, just $1 a month to keep us going. And in return, you get exclusive shows and specials. If you want to join us on an episode, send us an email or a message.